a box. This isn't my question. This is the statement that's leading to my question. We're putting ourselves in a box.
Put the mic closer.
Even better?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of times the state, they put us in a box in terms of different legislation, mainly 1315 or the school takeover. And as we sit back, we say, this isn't fair to the city of Gary. You're treating us as our own island, and it's not fair. So as we look at that, I believe that this legislation is we're putting our own self in a box. Now, if it was really good, the whole state would jump on board. But if I'm not mistaken, when the proposal came up to Earl Harris to make it countywide, it was shot down. That's because this is not a great bill that is presented. But just for clarity purposes, my question here is, I'm reading directly from the bill, okay? Because some of the statements that I heard, Mr. Harris, was that it was for only brick and mortar recyclable, okay? So this is directly from the bill. Construction/demolition site for the purposes of IC 13-20-12-2 has the meaning set forth. So now I'm about to explain the meaning, so real quick. Section 2.8, a person may not establish a sanitary landfill for disposal of garbage, rubbish, or refuge on land in Indiana within half a mile of an area. Number one, that has been subdivided by residential purposes. If you go down to 13, number B, this section does not apply to the establishment by an entity that manages construction/demolition waste under rules. The reason why I said that, maybe you want to amend this bill, but the reason why I said that, your bill clearly states that that law that's currently in place will be exempt for demolition/construction sites. So if you want it as a recyclable or whatever you was telling everybody else on social media, I believe we still need to do an amendment. Now, I'm still not supporting the bill. I think it's putting ourselves in a box, and to me, it's creating more blight because people are going to move away. So when they move away, we start a cycle, right? And I don't think it's beneficial, but that's my question.
I'm not sure what the question was, but I want to respond to a couple of things. You said I want to correct something that you said.
The question was, are you going to do an amendment? That's the question.
Are you going to what?
Are you going to do an amendment to this current bill?
Okay. So I want to respond to something you said. You mentioned the whole county. I want to clarify something. There was an amendment offered by the chairman of the Environmental Committee, which this bill went through. That amendment would have allowed for landfills in Lake County. That is an amendment that none of us supported. In fact, Representative Brown and Smith and I met with the chairman and other Republicans as a Republican representative, and we're very clear with him that we will not support an amendment being added on to this piece of legislation that would allow for a landfill. We had a very narrow conversation about this, and we were very clear. There was even some follow-up with the mayor about this, and that if that had happened, what it would meant for the future of this piece of legislation, which would have meant the end of it, because there's no way I was going to support a piece of legislation that would have allowed for landfills in Lake County. So I want to correct you on that to make sure everyone's clear. So the chairman did back down after multiple conversations in